Swamiji, Yogananda had an idea that we should, or a statement that we should express our ideals through architecture. Can you elaborate a little?
Yes, he said, immortalize your ideals in architecture. You know, I've often thought of architecture as, in a sense, the most important of the arts. Not that it's the most, is necessarily the most inspiring, but it's the only one that's really visible. You see a building, you don't see a statue in the courtyard or a painting in the living room. And I think that architecture that expresses harmony, that expresses an upliftment. Some architecture has. I went to Dubai recently. I found there's some very fascinating architecture, expressing harmony and so on. Some of it's a little bizarre, like a twisted building and so on, but I certainly approve of the attempt. The functional architecture that you've seen in America, it's a pity. If you've got to look at buildings, why not look at pleasant buildings? I remember once in high school going to a person's house and knocking on the door just because I liked the house. They were flattered that I came and talked to them, but I just wanted to know what kind of people would own such a nice looking house. And I think that our houses should have atmosphere, they should have charm.
And can you tell us what sorts of things, arches, for example?
Well, I think arches are, you know, one thing in Muslim architecture, because they believe that you shouldn't depict anything in nature. Of course, they do it anyway. On the Taj Mahal, you see flowers and things, but still that's their ideal. So they've developed these abstract forms, and many of them are quite artistic and beautiful. I know that the domes, for example, I very much approve of that. When I was thinking of building a temple in New Delhi many, many years ago, it's 50-something, more than 50 years ago, and I meditated on the form of the shape of the temple. I felt that a flat roof would be sort of depressing on the head. It's as if the energy going out from the brain should come back in a harmonious way, and a flat roof would depress that. A peaked roof would be perhaps too much for our age, but a round roof would be harmonious to the dome of the head, you might say. And so I found the buildings of Buckminster Fuller, which were the closest I could come, and I've built domes at Ananda for that. They're inconvenient because you can't have round, you can't find round divans and tables and bookcases and so on, but ideally I still think that would be excellent.